All right, guys, so the wall is up. Now it's time to do the first pretty thing, the tile. So let's go to the hardware store, pick out some tile and everything that we need. Let's go. All right, we're gonna take a break from this bathroom and talk about the sponsor of today's video, Simply Safe. Simply Safe is an incredibly reliable home security system that ensures your home is safe. You just order it online or over the phone and it's delivered right to your door, and you can set it all up in under 1 hour. Stick the sensors exactly where you need them. From there, the home is professionally monitored 24/7. If anything happens, they'll make sure the police gets called. They've got sensors to cover every window, room, and door, plus lots of great extras like water sensors, temperature sensors, and HD cameras. It's all really easy to use, and you get round-the-clock protection for just 50 cents a day with no contracts. They've even won US News and World Report's Best Overall Home Security of 2020. With the wife, young kids, including a newborn baby, home security is a high priority of importance in our family. So when I found out that Simply Safe has a variety of different gadgets, gizmos, and systems that allow for me to have my peace of mind, I had to learn more about it. And setup could not get easier. Simply connect your home base in place. Then take all of your devices you're gonna be using, for example, this door sensor, stick it onto your door. The monitoring center will call the police if it is alerted by anything. So if safety is important to you like it is to me, be sure to go to simplysafe.com/Mr. Build It to learn more. Now let's get back to this bathroom. When it comes to doing tile, it's just like anything else. The foundation is everything. If the base is screwed up, not level, then your tile is gonna be an issue. There are a couple of tips and tricks that you can consider, and especially some of the materials you can use. So let me show you what they are. All right, so here is our supplies. We're gonna use the Schluter D-truss system. This is an uncoupling membrane, and here's how it looks. You have a waterproofing membrane on one side. This is the downside, the white part, and then these cups, or little divots if you want to say, sorry, hard to see there, and they go down. Now, a little bit more pricier than your classic cement board. I paid roughly, I think, 50 bucks for this piece. This is for 54 square feet. The nice thing is the bathroom is 42 square feet, so this will be a perfect solution. We probably would have saved, I don't know, maybe 20 bucks if we went cement board, but this will make it so much easier. And the way it applies, here's the fun fact about it. You just lay down thinset right on the OSB. You lay this down, press it in, and then you can put thinset and then tile right over it. Now for the thinset, you have to use a special thinset. This is an uncoupling membrane mortar. That is specifically what those directions call for. This is pretty easy to read. It will tell you what you're applying it on. So we are putting it on plywood. Now there's a gray check mark. Gray check mark means we're not mixing with water, but we're mixing it with a polymer additive. Cue polymer additive. So there's about 2 gallons in here. We're gonna throw it in this bucket, use a paddle mixer, mix this up, and then the directions say we have to use a 1/4-inch trowel to lay it down, and then we can press this on. But before we get started, here's one thing we need to do. Though we have swept everything, there's still some dust here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go grab my vacuum, make sure everything's up, just because it'll be a lot easier to have a good adhesion or adhesiveness, whatever. You know I suck at that word, to lay it all down. So the consistency, I usually blend this all together, whether it's a polymer additive or water, is the consistency of like sour cream. So let me show you. All right, so my strategy is gonna be to work this way out. And before I start laying down the thinset mortar mix, I'm gonna start measuring out exactly the pieces that I need and cutting out the toilet part. One thing I did to help me out, I made a little mark on my wall here, so the thinset's gonna go up to that mark. Then I can take my full piece, lay it down and press it down and not have too much or too little and have worries about it. But so far we're doing real good, guys. So the Pt.3 membrane, the uncoupling membrane that we put down is down. And by the way, if you're wondering what it's for, it does multiple things. It's a waterproofing membrane. At the same time, it is something that disperses the pressure of the tile so it doesn't start cracking on you. Probably one of the most important parts. Now that it's done, it's drying. We're gonna go to the hardware store or the tile store basically and pick up some tile that will look really well here. And you know what? I have an old tile saw that I got off of Facebook Marketplace, a small one for like 50 bucks. And I'll show you can still use it, but I think I'm also gonna treat myself to a nice tile saw because I didn't pay a guy to do this and I saved a ton of money by doing it myself. I'm gonna treat myself to a tool so I can use it on the next one. Guys, if you have a hard time convincing your wives of getting tools, tell her that. Tell her, hey, we could save a bunch of money by me doing this myself, but I'll need the tool. I need the right tool to do the right job, and bada bing, bada boom, you got a new tool. All right, so we picked out our tile, really pretty stuff. Celeste, I believe it's called. I got it from Home Depot. It's a 12 by 24. It's got a super gloss finish. Big fan of it. Now it's porcelain. And the one thing you guys need to know when it comes to buying tile and then the thin set is certain thin set will actually say on it if it'll take ceramic, if it'll take porcelain, if it'll take stone. And then after that, it will tell you up to what size. So this one's specifically designated for the longest side to be longer than 15 inches. And this one is 24 inches. So with this, we could totally do it. Now on the back, it'll give you directions and saying, when it comes to mixing it, you need to use a particular trowel size based off the length. So if it was a shorter length, like a 12 by 12, we would use like a 1/4 inch trowel. But in this situation, it's 24. It's recommending us to use a 1/2 inch trowel. I'm gonna grab my 1/2 inch trowel. We're gonna mix it with water, again, to the consistency of sour cream. And then we'll start applying it. So let's do it. Oh, in case you're wondering about the tile saw, yep, got one. So this is the rigid tile saw. The best part that I was looking for is something with a sliding table. That way, if there's anything gunked up here, it won't interfere with the vibration of breaking the tile or anything. This is just a 7-inch. It comes with a stand. I bought it at Home Depot for like 297 bucks, so basically 300 bucks. This is the benefits of doing things yourself. You could use the money and buy the tools. All right, I apologize, but I'm gonna be doing a little bit of talking right now. So we figured out our tile, we figured out a mixture. Now our leveling system, as well as the pattern. The pattern usually, from my understanding, the way I was kind of taught, is that you want them to go vertically as you walk in through the entrance, whether it's the front door of your front house or the room, they kind of go the lengthwise. So it's our front door, and they go longwise this way. Number one. Number two, the pattern's gonna be staggered, very simple. 12 by 24 going this way, and then we're gonna cut one in half, and we're gonna stagger them this way. Basic. The third thing we wanna talk about is leveling. Now, if it was us doing this 20 years ago, we would put thin set on, drop it down, put our little spacers, whether it's an 1/8 of an inch, whether it's a 16th or whatever, and then we would try to shimmy it down and do our best, and this is where the professional tile setters would really speak well, is to level it in a way where one lays completely flat next to the other without any kind of lips or edges or anything like that. The really big pros, what we do is they put a 1/4 and slide it, and if it hits something, then it's a bad tile job. Modern day technology, they came up with these little leveling kits. Initially, they can get a little pricey, so I think this box here is like 30 bucks for that whole pack. These are little wedges that go underneath. Then you get, for another 10 bucks, this little tool and these little wedges. Sorry, these little shims, which are spacers. These are 16th inch. They go underneath the two pieces of tile. Then in that slot, we slide the wedge in that has little locking steps inside. And then to really force it to level with the next tile that it's next to, we'd use this tool to compress it together. Once it dries overnight, the next day we just remove these shims and then just break off these little plastic pieces and everything's concealed. This is my very first time using this kit. I usually always kind of eyeball it, and it's never always great, but it worked pretty well. Today we're gonna do the really nice method, so let's learn together. It's always exciting to learn, isn't it? A scorch coat, that's gonna do is allow for everything to stick evenly, or better. Now, I'm also, to start it, gonna use a little framing square to make sure our first line is gonna be square and nothing's gonna start weaving off to the side. This will be our reference. Okay, this should start us good. Throw these little leveling shims under. Give it a nice little press. So far, so good. Got a few tiles put down or laid. A few things that I learned right away that I want to pass on to you guys. These shims, or these little level lifters, best success is if you get them nice and flush against the tile that you've laid down first. That way you keep your spacings 1/16 of an inch without it having, it's hard to push it right back into place. So get it right in there flush against the tile edge, and then lay the next one next to it. Second thing I've learned is that be conscious about everywhere you need to put your shims or your lifters. I've had already one piece of tile that I forgot to put one in there because I didn't calculate where it went. So to remove it, place it again. Keep that in mind. Other than that, things are going really well. All I gotta do is just start cutting out a circle over there to match that. And I'm just gonna use my angle grinder with a ceramic tile or porcelain tile, basically a diamond bladed, diamond coursed blade. Ooh, last thing before I leave you with that. This tool, here's one thing I learned. Because everything has a little step, if you just do it by feel, it's all gonna be wavy. But there's a little dial in here, so once you set it, it's the amount of pressure that it needs to be done. That way you can set it on the same exact step, or roughly the same exact step, on these wedges throughout the entire process. So that's something I just learned, and it'll just make it a quick little full squeeze and we'll be set. That fit. I'm not good with circles when it comes to cutting radiuses out, just measurements, but that is good. The last of the tile went on right there. I am exhausted. It's 101 outside, though it's cool inside the house, but I have to go out there to cut. I'm beat. I've been on my knees working on this all day. I'm gonna let it dry till tomorrow, and then we'll start breaking these little leveling kits off and do the grout. So have a good night. All right, so all the leveling kits are there. Watch this. So what ends up happening is it breaks these off in a way where the bottom lifter is underneath the tile, but all it does is just rips this part off. So these little wings that are at the bottom are gone. So all we're gonna do is break these off, make sure we collect these because we can reuse these, and the rest of them can go to the trash. All right, let's do it. And just like that, this is going in the trash, and this is probably gonna get soaked in some warm water to clean them up and be used on the next tile project. In fact, we'll use them on the wall. Cool. All right, we're gonna go get a fresh bucket. We're gonna dump this. As you can see, it doesn't take a lot to do this stuff. This is a leftover bag. I probably had like a quarter of grout left, and these are 1/16 inch of an inch lines, grout lines. So it doesn't take much. I'm gonna have to dump this, clean my bucket, and get fresh water and a sponge, and we'll start lightly cleaning everything up, and then we'll dry it and then let it cure overnight. All right, everything looks awesome in here. We're gonna let this dry, so we're kind of trying to be careful not to step on the grout line. There's a few sections right there that you're thinking, well, it's exposed. How are you gonna conceal that? Well, we need to use a baseboard. Baseboards are typically between 3/4 inches and like 5/8. You can get smaller stuff, but this will be perfect to conceal it. Now, here's the kicker. Okay, that's what you wanted to say. Now, we're gonna go to the hardware store to go get some baseboards. One trick I learned about baseboards is for the most of the house, you can use MDF, it's fine, it's a cheap alternative. For the bathrooms, I would use real hardwood or pine or whatever. Reason why is the moisture content. You spill something on the ground. I actually learned my lesson the hard way, where before I had a piece right there, it would splash from the bathtub, and that small piece got rocks. I learned from that mistake, carry it on to you, you're welcome. I learned this trick a long time ago, but in case you're a newer builder and didn't know this trick, I wanted to show you. I said 16 on center. Every time you see a red on your tape measuring, that is usually, these major numbers are the 16 on center that are already separated on tape measure for people for framing. So here's a prime example. What I usually do is I find one stud and then I measure from there. So here's a prime example because this stud's already exposed. So if that is one of our 16 on center, check this out. The next one is 32. And yep, lines up there. And if we follow it some more, the next one is 48, right there. So hope that trick helps you guys. Well, hey, that is it for me this week. Thanks so much for sticking around watching yet another one of my videos, part 3, I believe is what we're on, and I had a blast showing you guys everything that I knew about tile. I'm really happy how everything turned out, and I really do hope that you guys embrace that courage, tackle on these projects that look intimidating, embrace that sweat where it's gonna get hard, but you're gonna learn so much and take it on to your next project. You're gonna be that much better of a person and a builder. And if you like videos like this or any other kind of home improvement project like these stairs that I did, make sure you hit the subscribe button and tap the notification bell. Very important. That way you'll be alerted every time a video comes out. Make sure you like, comment, and share this video with your friends. Tune in this week. We'll see you guys on the next one. See ya. Bye.